Mr. President, I do want to take a moment to talk about a separate subject, and that has to do with the blue slip. Like Chair Grassley said in the Judiciary Committee, most people would not even have any idea what a blue slip is. So let me just explain. We have district court judges. District court judges, their territory remain in a given state. We have 3 districts in North Carolina. And we have a policy where if both senators must return a blue slip, I think it was literally blue at some point, I've never seen it, but they have a tradition, but they have to return a blue slip in order for a judicial nominee to move forward. And President Trump is rightfully frustrated because blue slips are not being returned. But I would urge my colleagues to respectfully tell the President that we would do damage to this institution and we would do damage to the power of individual members if we were to rescind the blue slip. I'm a great example of that. In fact, Mr. President, there were nearly 40 district judges that came open in the Biden administration that the Democrats honored the blue slip on. I'm not even going to talk about U.S. attorneys and others that are subject to the blue slip. But the Democrats honored that tradition in the 4 years that Biden was in power, and we honored that tradition in the 4 prior years that President Trump was in power. And I'm telling my colleagues, I'm retiring, Mr. President. I won't be here in 17 months. But I'm telling my colleagues, I've seen that issue cut both ways. And I've actually even seen honoring the blue slip in my unique circumstance in a way that I don't think has occurred in years. I built relationships with Democrat members that were willing to tell their chair that they wanted to honor an agreement that I had to not even confirm a circuit court judge who is not subject to the blue slip anymore. So if we really want to work agreements here and we really want the gears of the Senate to work, understand it's about relationships and trust. And the tradition of the blue slip is foundational to those relationships and trust. So rather than succumbing to the moment and the pressure to destroy a decades-old tradition, figure out how to get it done in spite of those limits. And if my colleagues invest in that, I will guarantee you will be in the same position someday like I was in the last part of last year to have Democrats agree with a Republican in the minority to not have a circuit court judge shoved down my throat for the circuit that I'm in. And if we yield to the pressure of the President, if we don't honor what we've heard Chair Grassley say is foundational and very, very important to the Judiciary Committee, I think those who will be here after I leave will regret it. And on a final note on that subject, Chair Grassley came to me on the Senate floor a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm polling members about whether or not we have support to end the blue slip. And I said, Chair Grassley, you can rescind the blue slip if you feel like you have the support, but you need to understand that I will honor the blue slip for as long as I'm a U.S. Senator. And with the numbers in Judiciary Committee today, that means that regardless of what my other colleagues want to do on the blue slip, I'm simply not going to allow it for the next 17 months. So let's move on, honor it, do the work, and I guarantee you if you do, you can get a lot done here and still work within the norms of this great institution. And I want to thank Chair Grassley for being the great chair that he is and for standing up for that very moment, or for that very principle. Thank you, Mr. Chair.